Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for helping me hit 500 subscribers. As you know, I have opened the community posts. They allowed us to do that at 500 subscribers, so that was very exciting because this way I could share more updates, more content for you to keep you in the loop as to what is going on, especially with these energies being so intense consistently, not slowing down, just continuing to evolve and increase over these last few weeks. And I could tell you that it's going to continue into 2022. We are in the process of the lights coming on, if you will. Okay. I know probably 6 months ago, I had a vision of being in a movie theater and the movie ending, and then suddenly the lights coming on and everybody's like, what? Wait, you know how the lights come on and you're like rubbing your eyes and you're like, wait, I'm not ready for the lights yet, because you were so relaxed in the darkness of the movie, not realizing that, you know, it was time for you to leave or for the movie to end. So that is what I'm still seeing. And now what's happening is this intensity that we've been in is pushing us into this extreme energy. So today's talking point is really about the frequencies that we're hearing ringing in our ears. But before we do that, I want to talk about this for just a few seconds and give you not an energy update, because nothing has really changed. But for some of you who are new to my channel or find my channel at some point going forward, that are not aware of what's taking place, I wanted to just give you a little bit of information there. So what's happening is we're seeing a lot of solar activity, heightened solar activity, which means that we're experiencing solar flares. We're experiencing CMEs, coronal mass ejections from the sun, solar winds, solar storms, solar everything. It's highlighted by the Schumann report. And if you follow any of the reporting agencies that send out the, I guess, the graphs and the charts on the magnetics of the Earth, you'll see that the magnetics of the Earth have been intensified. Everything is shifting. It has become magnetized in such a way that there is no more hiding from it, right? Everybody is starting to feel it, which is creating this feeling of chaos in a lot of people who maybe are still unconscious and not tuned in doing their work, right? For those of us that are tuned in, we may be experiencing some of that chaos within, as we're feeling these shifts, as we go from one energy to another energy, or one light frequency to another light frequency. And it makes it challenging for us to have that experience. And we will feel it in our body. And at times it might feel intensified, which is where we could feel a little chaotic. Maybe we might feel a little outside of ourselves at that moment. So in other words, we don't feel like we normally do. Our head feels slightly different. We don't feel like we're fully in our body. We may be lacking clarity, or we may be having experiences like I've been having the last week, where I am completely void of time. And when I'm in that space, it doesn't feel like there's a day, a month, an actual timestamp. It just feels like I'm floating in the existence of space. And it's a very surreal kind of feeling. And so I'm noticing that feeling a lot more. The other day I had an experience. My friend and I went to get our nails done. And on the way, doing some other errands, we were stopped at a light. She was driving, and I looked over to my left, and there was a landscaping truck pulling out of the gas station. And for a moment, as I fixated on that landscaping truck, I realized that it was not a real landscaping truck. It was a part of my experience in this reality. And it was like a, any video game that you play where there's just a background extra, right? I think in like Super Mario Brothers, they had birds that flew above head and they didn't have a purpose. They were just extra added into the video background for the purpose of the aesthetic value of the game. And in that moment, I had that same awareness of that landscaping truck. And I had to sit there for a few seconds and process what the heck was going on, because it felt so incredibly unreal, let's say that, like where I had that experience of it being there, but not being there, like it was there, but it wasn't really there. And so in that moment, having that awareness, and it was like shifting dimensions, right? Blowing up to, let's say, 9th dimension in a split second, and then coming back down into a 5D state of consciousness. And so we're going to experience things like that. Perception might be shifting. I know for me, distance is becoming interesting as I'm perceiving it very differently. And I have to be careful walking downstairs because my depth perception is changing. Apparently I can't speak today either. So, which is also part of this whole thing, right? We lose our words and can't speak or form them properly. Happens to me all the time. And so what's taking place is we're having this shifting in the magnetics of the earth, which is shifting us. It's shifting the gravity. It's shifting our field, which is magnetized, right? So we have the electrical part of our field, and then we have the magnetic part of our field. The electric is the thoughts, the magnetics are the emotions. And so all of that is shifting and playing a role. And as the earth shifts its magnetics, it's shifting us at the same time, which is why so many are feeling sad and having these outbreaks of crying and emotions, because the emotions have to come up and out. They have to purge. So when the magnetic shift, if there's any unresolved emotions, those emotions are going to have to come to the surface to be cleared, because tears and crying is how we clear the distortion that we're still carrying in our field, right? It's how we're clearing old timelines that can no longer be held in the state of being that we're in. These old timelines are locked into 3D and they can't come with us into 5D and higher. It's just not possible. So they have to be released from the magnetics of our field. And if you think about timelines, they're imprints, right? I have plenty of stuff on timelines. So if you're confused about that, please look at some of the community posts, because I believe I just posted something on timelines, and I have many videos where I'm talking about timelines. So there's a lot of support here for you if you're new and you need help understanding timelines. But so what happens in those cases is when our field is being impacted with the electromagnetics, right, of the earth shifting, it's also shifting our field, which can make us feel dizzy. And then we have bouts of vertigo, or maybe we have bouts of nausea until our field straightens out, adjusts itself, and starts spinning at a faster rate, because our vibration is shifting. And as our vibration raises, our field spin also has to raise. So it has to match that. So if you've been having any dizziness or anything like that, it's because your field is trying to keep up with these frequency shifts on the earth that are being created by these solar activities. Okay, so it's really important to have that awareness and understanding. Now, a big part of this with the solar activity, the solar flares and the CMEs and the storms and the winds and all of that stuff, right, is that you'll probably experience some headaches. There was a point in my journey, probably I want to say 2011 they started until probably about 2016. I had a lot of headaches, and I am someone that never gets headaches. I just never never suffered from any kind of headaches. But during that period of time, I was getting headaches quite regularly, and even like a migraine status headache, right? But that's crown expansion. As our crown is going into an expanded state, you have to remember everything is shifting, right? Our field is expanding, our crown is expanding, our heart center needs to expand. So one of the most important things here is to understand that, you know, everything is here to assist us. And if we get mad at the headaches, if we get mad at the solar activity, if we get mad at these frequencies, we're only blocking ourselves through resistance. And what do I always say about resistance? Resistance equals pain and suffering. So the more you're resistant to having these headaches or anything else, you're going to have more pain and suffering in your physical body. So don't do that. Embrace the headaches and go, oh, my crown must be expanding. Oh, my intuitive ability must be coming on more. Oh, I must be accessing telepathy, and my pineal gland is expanding, right? And this is, or my pituitary gland, and the two halves of my brain, which are separate in this game of separation, are starting to merge, because that's how this is working. So the two hemispheres of the brain starting to merge in the unification process. See, words. And so we are needing to embrace it all. We have to embrace it all because it's all part of our expansion. Okay. So the headaches, pineal gland is also going to be active, and you might feel, you know, throbbing, pulsing. You might have an achy pineal gland area. Your eyes might hurt you, your physical eyes, it might hurt you. They may feel blurry. Mine are constantly shifting. The crystals in them are activating. I can't wear contact lenses anymore. Sometimes I can't even see with my glasses. My eyes get blurry. I have to take them off and just let them rest. This is all part of that activity, right? And then depending on other frequencies, you might have plasma coming in, which is like a roto-rooted, clearing out the distortion. And as plasma comes in and shifts our frequency, we might go from hot, which is expansion, to cold, which is contraction, because now we're contracting to go within as we're needing to do more work and go within. And then as we do enough work and things shift again, we go back into expansion. And when we go back into expansion, the inner body heats up. And so during this process, we may feel anxiety, because you have to remember the molecules are at play. Go back and listen to a few of my other videos, because I explain all of this in detail in those videos, how the energy body is working. Plus, there's a link down below called Navigating Your Energy Body. That will help you understand that too. All right. So we need to be very, very in awareness, right? We need to be very aware of what's taking place in our physical body, and what is transpiring for us is here to help us and assist us and support us and benefit us to the most maximum. Okay. But if we're complaining about it and we're feeling angry about it and we're feeling resentful that this is happening, we have to remember we chose to be here. Okay. Nobody twisted your arm to do this. You chose to come back here and do this at this time. And we're doing massive, massive amounts of assistance and support using our physical bodies to anchor this light through Gaia so that we could all ascend this, our consciousness at this time. Okay. So it's very, very important to keep this awareness. So try not to be angry. Try to love yourself through. Love is very, very important. It expands the heart field, and that's very necessary. Now, let's talk about the ears, the ringing in the ears, and the frequency in the ears, okay? So I know many of you are experiencing these different frequencies. At times they're extremely loud. They can feel very annoying as they block out other noises because they're so loud and obnoxious. Well, I can tell you that over the years, it's shifted a lot. So back in the beginning of 2020, we started going into more of a symphony where it was not just one light frequency anymore. So in other words, it was not just photonic light, and then it shifted to gamma light frequency, and then it would shift to solar light frequency, or it would shift to plasma light frequency. And then you would hear different tones depending on which different light frequency it was. Well, it's not like that anymore. back then it was easier because we could tune in and say, okay, how is my body feeling? Oh, this must be gamma because I'm feeling like my nervous system is on edge, or I feel like I'm coming down with a bit of a cold as my immune system is being boosted, right? We go into flu, frequency light upgrades, when we're getting a boost in our immune system from gamma. So when gamma comes in, it could be clearing our field, and then we'll feel a little flu-like, but that's just an upgrade that we're going through. Okay, so we would know back then would be so much easier. Now it's not so easy anymore, because if you really tune in, especially at night when everything is quiet, it's more like a symphony. It's not just one anymore. There's not just one light frequency playing in our ears. It's a symphony of frequencies. And so you might have to tune in a little closer, pay a little closer attention to your physical body and say which one is very, very present at this time through what I'm hearing. Now, the most important part of these frequencies that we're hearing in our ears is that they are also here to assist us. We have to stop with the 3D terms, the 3D victim terms of, oh, I have tinnitus, I have this, I have that, and, it's not going away and whatever, right? Because the more we tune into it and we allow ourselves to be empowered by all of this, the easier the shifting is. Okay. So I have my moments. Last night, it sounded like I was sitting front and center for the biggest orchestra you could even imagine. I couldn't even hear my own thoughts. And I finally had to just lay down and just tune into the frequencies. That's what we need to do. Tune into the frequencies. And just imagine taking them in, right? Like they're at the door of my ears, and now they want to come rushing into my body. And so I have to just let them come in through my ears and then come into the neck. And yeah, you'll know when you've had a light frequency upgrade, because in the morning when you wake up, your neck might be achy for about a half an hour, maybe an hour, right? Your spine might be achy, right down your spine might be achy. And that all has to do with the upgrades, because the back of the neck, where we have the mouth of God, is the back of the third eye, right? That is our communication center for divine, I'd say divine speak, but for connecting with our higher self and source, right? And so that is the processing point for where light codes will enter. And so when we're experiencing heavy light code activity where we're integrating a lot, we're going to feel it right in the back of our neck. And it will feel like a sore neck. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing that you can do. You can use a foam roller, you can go to the chiropractor, you can go for a massage. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to make that feel better until those codes integrate. Once they integrate, it all clears up magically, as if it never existed in the first place. Okay. So it's really important to have this understanding that everything is here to assist us. We have to get rid of the word symptoms. I did a video on this where are we still calling them symptoms? We need to start calling them upgrades. Okay. Because that's what they are. They're upgrades, and they're here to support us. And these frequencies that we're hearing, the ringing in the ears, are the same thing. They're here to help expand our consciousness, okay? It's a tuning in. And so back in, I think it might have been April or May, we also had a shift in the frequencies because there's new codes coming in constantly. And I think back in May, if I'm not mistaken, either April or May, we started to experience what sounded like Morse code in our ears, right? Little beeping. And it's very, very subtle, but it's there. And I know some experienced it louder than others, but it's very subtle. And now all of these frequencies will, come as you need it, right? And no two people are going to experience it the same way, because we're all on our unique soul path, and we're all on, you know, different timelines, accessing different timelines, being upgraded in different ways. So our experience is going to be very different. Okay, that's very important to have an awareness of. So this Morse code sounding frequency is another frequency that is assisting and supporting to align us. Now, let me talk about something that is also taking place here, since we're on the topic of all of this new information to support us. What's also happening, which I have experienced these last couple of weeks more than I've ever experienced before, is these shifts in my vision, especially at night. And I'm noticing, as I'm more in a relaxed state and my eyes are in a relaxed state, I'm actually perceiving what seems to be like a depixelation, right? So if, let's say I'm staring at a spot on the wall, and I will actually see a depixelation where that spot seems to be breaking down, and it looks like I'm about to have X-ray vision and look right through the wall. So that's been happening a lot lately to me. And also what's taking place is when I'm laying down at night, and sometimes I'm just looking up, staring at my ceiling, the galaxy will open and I will see, you know, what looks like the stars and all the different constellations and stuff like that. So we're starting to experience these shifts. Sometimes I can do that, and it's just swirling colors, right? That there'll be swirling colors. And then other times it'll be sacred geometric patterns. All of that is what is inside of us. All of it is what's inside of us, okay? Remember that the eyes are a projector, so they're projecting out consciousness. And if I haven't posted that, that information to the community board, I will, because off the top of my head right now, I can't remember if I did or not. And so that's an important thing to keep an awareness of, is that you know, our eyes are projecting what is internal to us. Okay. So if you're experiencing any of this, especially the frequencies, because there has been an uptick in that too, and you're going to notice they're going to get louder and louder and louder, especially at night. Right now, for me, I'm in 0-point field. I hardly hear any frequencies right now. And I'm just in this beautiful space. Everything is quiet. And it feels quite magical and quite blissful. But when I am laying down at night, that because the earth is so quiet, I am hearing and tuning into the frequencies more than ever. If you want to play with this, because I noticed that when I lay on my side and my ear has the pillow kind of cupping it, I hear the tone so much better. So, and I started a practice years and years and years ago of trying to tune in, either through wearing like cotton in my ears, or even earplugs. You can put in earplugs into your ears, and just listen and tune in and listen to the frequencies and tune them, because they're tuning us. It's tuning us to these frequencies, because you have to remember we're in light body. Okay, our body is no longer just a carbon-based body composite from Gaia. We have activated our light body experience. Okay, and so this is why we're having all of these different experiences energetically with our body and in a very physical way. Okay, because we're no longer just a carbon-based body. We're also a light body, and there's different stages of light body. So there's rainbow light body, there's gamma light body, there's plasma light body, plasma crystalline light body, crystalline light body, and so on, etheric light body. Okay, and so as we hit each light body, our body is going to feel different. The experiences that we're having are different, and the shifts in our consciousness are going to be different. Okay, so I believe we're going to be talking about this stuff for a very, very long time to come, because these shifts are not going to happen overnight, and we just have to tune in and you know, be focused and pay more attention to what's taking place. So be playful. If you're hearing the frequency in your ears, yeah, sometimes it's a pain in the neck. Sometimes I really, really don't love having it, right? Because I'm trying to do a session with somebody or I'm trying to record a video and it's so loud, I can't hear anything else but the frequency. Okay. And that moment, yeah, it might be a pain in the neck, but at the same time, I also know it's for my highest benefit. So I take it in very lovingly and I say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with right now. I don't go into victimhood mentality and say, oh, poor me. I'm not able to hear anything because I'm hearing these intensified frequencies. Don't do that. Okay. Because when you're doing that, you're playing to the lower consciousness of 3D Earth, and we don't want to do that. 3D by the end of this year it's going to be very obvious how it's leaving our field. Okay. And I will be making some videos also talking about that. But it's very important for us to just hold this awareness as these frequencies escalate. So as we're experiencing these higher shifts in consciousness, we're going to be experiencing a louder frequency in our ears and different anomalies throughout our body as we're going through these upgrades. Okay, they are ascension upgrades. So I hope this helps you guys. I feel like that's it for today. Mostly I wanted to talk to you about the frequencies because there's so many of them and you're not just hearing one and you're not just playing in one frequency, although the frequency that is the most active right now is probably the solar frequency, the solar rays, the solar cosmic light, the photonic light. As the photonic light is coming in and expanding us, expanding our consciousness. It does not like chaos, it likes order. So when it comes through, it wants everything in order. And so, yeah, that's what's taking place right now. So, you know, again, remember, please remember, everything is here to help us. Everything is here to support us. Okay, there's nothing that we're going through that is not meant for our highest good to support us. The only reason we feel pain experiencing it is because we get in our way with fearful thoughts, fearful thinking, like something is happening to us that is going to hurt us, or something is happening to us that's negative. Okay. We have to start letting that paradigm go because that is a role model that we've played into our whole entire lives, right? Which is what's taking place now in the medical community as that paradigm starts to deconstruct and self-implode, because that's also happening right now. All right. So yeah, so that's it. If you have any questions beyond this, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I will either write something on it or share it in my next video. This way we are on a constant flow moving forward. Thank you again to those of you who are new subscribers. I am at 800 subscribers right now. So exciting. Thank you to those of you who've been with me from the beginning. It's so wonderful to have your love and support. I am so appreciative of you. And just know that whenever we're connecting like this, I see you, I feel you, and this is a transmission coming through always. So if you feel that you're receiving something through this, if you're feeling tingling throughout your body, or maybe down your back or in the back of your neck or on your crown or in the back of your head, it's actually your energy points, what we would call the meridian points, the nadi points or nadi points. The chakras, right? Those points are lighting up because they're receiving the transmission, this energy transmission that is coming through. And so as they're tingling, that tingling is the result of the expansion that they're going into, and then the contraction they're going into, and then the expansion again, right? So a fun game that you can play with that is when you feel the tingling, tune in, stop what you're doing. Unless you're driving, don't do this while you're driving, right? Stop what you're doing, close your eyes, and tune into that place that you're feeling the tingling, okay? And sit and feel It's not a thinking thing. It's a feeling thing. Sit and feel into it, because you want to feel into it, because you'll actually feel that spot expanding. It's so cool, right? It's been this way for years and years and years and years. I mean, like forever. I can't tell you how long it is, but this is how it works. So when these little points open up, and you can imagine we have like bazillions of them all over our body, right? When these little points open up, they get tingly. So tune in, have fun, play with the energy. That is going to tune you too, right? So everything is here to support us. So take in the transmission, know that I love you so, so much, so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, whatever it is that you're doing. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye.